You saw it all last night. I was impressed by Trump, got to tell you. His command of the situation, his levels of confidence, and his complete domination of the American political scene right now. Is that how you saw it?
Absolutely. I mean, Donald Trump handled the audience amazingly well. That level of opposition that he faced, where you had Alan Green, the U.S. Member of Congress from Texas, waving his cane. They had to stop the speech so he could be escorted out. I mean, you have to look on at this and shake your head. George W. Bush invaded Iraq, lied about weapons of mass destruction. The invasion of Iraq led to the death of hundreds of thousands of Iraqis, thousands of U.S. soldiers. And when he spoke before Congress with his State of the Union speeches, Democrats stood up for him every time. They gave him standing ovations. But Donald Trump, who's taken office once again and might, God forbid, want to end the war in Ukraine, was met with cold silence and disruptions. The Democratic Party is really bankrupt. And Donald Trump used this speech to just steamroll right over them. He even used their catchphrase. He said one of his goals was to provide, quote, immediate relief to working families. Now, that phrase, working families, that was a phrase that was popularized by the labor movement in the United States during the 1990s. Polling showed that in the United States, the phrase working class doesn't really go over. Americans tend to always say they're middle class. And the word working class, people think of communism or it's vulgar or something like that. But the labor unions discovered in the 1990s that if they talked about working families, that people responded very positively. They think of families working hard, struggling to pay their bills, a hardworking father providing for his kids, etc. And so, the labor unions here in New York State, they started the Working Families Party, which is the second ballot line for the Democrats, etc. And working families was a Democrat Party phrase until recently, because now the wokeification of the Democratic Party has decided that the phrase working families is somehow anti-LGBT. And I don't understand how that works. As far as I'm concerned, LGBT people have families. So I don't know where they're getting this from, but the Democrats are no longer talking about working families. So Donald Trump usurped one of their key phrases. This was an epic victory for Trump. I will say I have my concerns about some of what he said, but as far as a political victory, it was a knockout in one round.